Lawrence and Madden. Lawrence, a former Teal Cup star with Queensland. Izard. Bouncing ball for Burns. Grenvold. His kick inside 50. Langford in front. Barnes jumps all over him. Comes to Tuck. Back he goes to Deere. Greg Deere. Off the left boot. Good pass. Mark taken by Dean Anderson.
Dean Anderson has been fairly quiet. He kicks to Ralph Smith at the back, who flies, thumps at the ground. Good play. On to Swab. Now, where's the lead? Oh, Swab tripped over. He gets it to Ralph Smith again, who crashes his way through. That's good play. On to Whitman. An open goal, Chris Whitman, and he's missed a sitter. So 2 bad misses by Hawthorn that could have brought them much closer. He could have run right in. He panicked a little bit then, but they're creeping in. 5-5 the Hawks. Essendon 7-8.
Terry Danaher leads. Goes for the bounce up to centre wing. Looks for Barnes or Manning, but in front is Langford, who's starring at fullback. Chris Langford hasn't perhaps had the greatest of seasons, going well today. Allen works to the front but can't mark. Now applies the tackle on O'Donnell. Ball held. Umpire will ball it up.
Gee, that's one of the really top exhibitions of fullback play today by Langford under pressure.
Good to see Mark Harvey walking around the boundary line and now sitting on the bench for the Bombers. He was carried off, looked as though he was unconscious in the second quarter.
Yes, I thought poor old Mark was down and out. He's had a lot of injuries. There's the thump on. Taken by Thompson. Oh, beautiful hand pass to Greg Anderson. Anderson runs away from Whitman, goes inside to O'Donnell, who's under pressure. Anderson, that's Dean Anderson, tries to make the tackle. The short pass by O'Donnell is wide of Manning. Manning too quick for McGuinness. He's ducking around onto the right foot, now onto the left. Onto Barnes. Barnes centres the ball but kicks straight into Greg Deere. Here's Long. Holding the ball should have been. And he's got the free kick. Long, I thought he ducked the head. And the Hawthorn player's not happy. What do you think, Drew?
Thought he ducked into the tackle.
Now the short one is on. And he finds O'Donnell. And I really think the umpire was sucked into that free kick. Gary O'Donnell, the backman. He's kicked one. He'll have to kick from 50 metres. Well, 46 metres, I would say, and he's missed it to the left. So there's some poor kicking going on. Of course, it's fairly windy. 7-9, Essendon. You can see by the scoring shots, 16-10. They should be further in front. Hawthorn 5-5.
Well, we haven't had a goal in this third quarter in the opening 6 or 7 minutes, the same as in the second quarter. Izard. Ball jolted free. Izard regathers. Approaches the 50-metre line. Looks for Werner. Just ran out of room and was taken out of bounds. It'll be a boundary throw in the pocket. Michael Werner spent some time on the bench, but he's had a tough time of it against Chris Langford. Vanderhaar in ruck against Deere. Comes to Watson. And it's a free kick Essendon's way to Paul Vanderhaar. And Greg Deere, it's an interesting one. Greg Deere, who's rucked in a premiership team, against Vanderhaar, a part-timer. And you can see Greg Deere's reaction to that.
Well, the umpiring has been very, very ordinary today. I must say that. Give them credit where it's due, but it's been ordinary today. Dunstall's treatment's been poor, as we see Vanderhaar from directly in front. Puts it through for a goal. So a handy one that to Essendon. It takes them on to 8-9. Hawthorn 5-5. So the margin now 22 points. Well, a ruck infringement, forward pocket. You certainly can't afford that. It was against Greg Deere on Vanderhaar. And a handy one because Hawthorn were playing all right.
Margin back out to 22 points. Kennedy. Kick smothered by Kickett. Grenvold for Essendon. Watson getting on top of Michael Tuck. Kick by Watson to half-forward Manning. And doesn't he use the ball beautifully, Timmy Watson? Comes on for the hand pass. Short passes again to Madden. Oh, that is just sensational football by Watson. There you have Madden, 339 games. Watson, 259. Great experience. And it's counting today for the Bombers. Tim Watson's had 22 possessions. We're only 8 minutes into the third quarter. Kicked by Madden, won't make it. And it's through for a behind.
Essendon certainly with that edge in pace, and that creates problems at times for Hawthorn. Langford has been Hawthorn's best player in my opinion. He's played an outstanding game at fullback. Good mark to Terry Danaher. On it goes to Gary O'Donnell. O'Donnell long to the comes to Kickett. Kickett tries to go inside. The hand pass straight to Ayres. Ayres wide. Whitman beaten by Cransberg. Around the corner goes Cransberg to Anderson, who drops the mark. The two Andersons against each other. Dean against Gregg. Grabbed by Tuck, who certainly has not been just with the flight of the ball to take it on centre wing.
Peter Cransberg, an excellent first season in the AFL. High climb by Madden, but no mark. Schwab, cleverly back to McGuinness. He had to beat two, but couldn't. It's taken by Long. Open go for Michael Long. From 30 metres out, short pass to Van der Haar. Brilliant. And Paul Van der Haar will be lining up for his second goal in about 2 or 3 minutes. Well, this will make Hawthorn's task pretty tough. The Hawks kicked the last 3 in the second quarter, but Essendon had the first 2 in the third quarter, both to Van der Haar.
5 goals, 4 goals, 5. In fact, they have to make up Hawthorn. It'll be pretty difficult. There's Tuck. Held to ground now. Umpire calls play on. Condon has to lift his game. Has been quiet. Great tackle on Andrew Collins by Grenvold. Then he's grabbed by 3 Hawthorn players, and the umpire, John Russo, is called holding the ball.
That was tough.
It was pretty tough, all right.
He made a great tackle.
Oh, it's on now. And there's an Essendon player down. There's an Essendon player down. The umpire's called play on as Michael Tuck goes to the forward pocket. Dunstall. Yes. Great mark. 25 metres out directly in front. The Essendon player still down on centre wing, holding his head. He looks a bit groggy. Is that Manning?
I think Michael Werner.
It might be Michael Werner. I don't know what happened, but I feel, and he's, they're calling, is that the call for the, no, he's all right, he's up and about. Dunstall for his 4th goal, no doubt about it, right through the middle, and the Hawks come back again. So Hawthorn 6th, they're hanging in there, 6-5, 41, Essendon 9-10, 64, and Michael Werner's okay.
I think he'll come to the bench, Michael Werner. Certainly leaving in better nick than Mark Harvey did. So the margin back to 23 points. This might heat up a bit on a cold winter's afternoon. Greg Anderson, but the whistle had gone. There's a Hawthorn free kick back here. And it's coming to Scott McGuinness.
Well, I saw Michael Tuck waving his arms around. He's trying to inspire those Hawthorn guys. He's a terrific captain, Tuck.
Unmarked is Schwab, forward of centre wing. He's got Dean Anderson inside. Poor kick along the ground. Great gather by Thompson. Greg Anderson. Burns. Burns loses a bit of ground but finds a teammate. Cransberg doesn't put a foot wrong. High kick. McGuinness punches away from Manning. Grenvold keeps it in. Burns puts it out in front of Long. Open slather now. A beautiful balk around Tuck. Long, sensational. His left footer. A centre to kick it. Well, Michael Long is carving them to pieces. Kick it to Van der Haar. He gets clear. Looking for his 3rd for the quarter. And Van der gets it. Bombers running right, 70-41, and Michael Long has been instrumental, and Van der Haar's finished off 3 times.
Well, there's no doubt about Michael Long. He came around the boundary line, he dummied the hand pass, and he is the most unselfish player in the game because he could have gone towards goal. He hooked it back to Kickett. Kickett went on with it. Eventually ended up with Van der Haar for a very easy goal. tough for the Hawks. 4-5 the margin. They're trying hard. Condon has had a quiet day. Towards half forward he goes. Anderson waited back. That was Dean Anderson. Allowed Greg Anderson to mark uncontested. On to Buick. Buick with pace. Goes to the half forward line. Out comes Watson and takes a mark in front of Langford. And the Bombers really, they seem to be able to just get into another gear and turn it on at will. Played a great game. Watson, 15 kicks and 7 handballs. Well, he's a champion player. We all know that. And he's going for Essendon's 11th goal from 45 metres. Kicks a high one. Won't make the distance. Van der Haar is the flyer. It's punched to kick it. It's another one on the board. Goal to Derek Kickett. That's his second, and the Mummers move on to 11-10. Essendon 6-5. Well, again, the ball was kicked down long. Didn't quite make the distance from Watson. The players flew. The Hawthorn defenders tried to punch. Kickett sensibly waded over the back. Landed straight in his lap. And in for an easy goal. Essendon playing well.
Back in the centre, Madden taps defensively. Dean Anderson off the ground, beats his namesake Greg. Thompson, Kransberg. Greg Anderson, high tackle by Pritchard. It's going to come back for the free kick. Well, Hawthorn looking a bit frustrated at the moment, and why not? They're being beaten by 35 points. It's a 50-metre penalty to rub salt into the wounds. And Hawthorn currently sitting 5th on the ladder. Defeat will drop them out of the 5 for the second time in 3 weeks, and they'll have a real job ahead of them to keep their grand final run unbroken. Greg Anderson had a superb season. 19 kicks, 4 handballs. His left footer for Van der Haar. One hand not enough. Barnes tries to punch on. Tuck meets it first. And the ball hurries out of bounds.
10.5 minutes of play left in the third quarter. Very impressive display by Essendon. It's going to take a really good side to beat them this year. Here's Darren Pritchard, who's gone right out of the game. He kicks to the half-forward line. Ben Allen, he's been quiet. Gee, they've had some quiet players, Hawthorn.
4 kicks, Allen.
Well, when you go through it, Platten's off the ground, of course. Ralph Smith's been quiet. McGuinness has been quiet. Paul Deer's been quiet. Allen's been quiet. Anderson's been... They've really had a lot of players not really doing enough. Condon has had a quiet day also. Swab has tried particularly hard. Not over quick, but he's got a big heart. Oh, look at that pace again. Gary O'Donnell, centre of the ground. Anderson. Danaher. No, Kransberg it was. To kick it. A brilliant hand pass to Barnes. Now there's the tackle on Condon, and the umpire said he threw it away. Well, it's a free kick going to Barnes at half forward, and I really don't think, no way known that Dean Anderson's fit. Adrian Burns it is. Came into the side in place of Salmon. Will kick from 52 metres and kicks it up in front. Van der Haar and Barnes punched down. Now is that a mark? Umpire calls play on. It hits the deck. Smothered off the boot. Grabbed by Langford, who's tried hard. Langford to the half-back line. John Kennedy after it. And also Izzard, and Izzard taps it over the line.
Well, after a bit of a slow start, the Bombers have kicked 4 goals 2 in this quarter, and Hawthorn just 1 goal 2. And Buick went down. Ralph Smith, a hand pass to Kennedy. If you in the crowd saw what Kennedy might have done earlier on, he's kicked out of bounds on the full, and the Bombers fans let him know about it. Free kick to be taken by Thompson. Takes it on the run, in between wing and half forward. Dean Anderson for Hawthorn. Allen outnumbered 2-1. Trapped it pretty well. Shuffles the ball out. O'Donnell loses it. Thompson, great poise. Long. Brilliant play by Long again to set up Kransberg, who is 30 metres in the clear, Peter Kransberg. is left-footed for Van der Haar at full forward. Name written all over it. And Vander's going to kick 4 1/4. Paul Van der Haar right in front. Man on the mark is about 25 metres from goal. And from just 6 kicks, he has 3 goals so far. This for 7 for 4. Gets away to the right a bit. It might have just snuck in. It has. 4 1/4 to the old-timer, Paul Van der Haar.
7 goals, the leeway, and I can't see Hawthorn doing it at the moment. There's Schwab, who's paddling very, very hard. McGuinness to Kennedy, still getting the hoots. On to Lawrence, to the half-forward line, and Danaher playing well. Mark Thompson, Gary O'Donnell, and just running and backing up. Here's a dangerous long again, coming through centre wing. He's lost it this time, though. Pritchard, the long kick. Dunstall at the back. Was that a mark? Umpire calls play on. Grabbed by Considine. Out to Watson. He and Tuck have had a magnificent duel. Cleverly done by Watson. They love him, the Essendon supporters. Watson to Madden. And Watson's put it out of bounds on the full.
Disappointing finish to what was great. Lawrence. 6.5 minutes to go to 3/4 time. He's run a fair way, Lawrence. Over centre wing. Ralph Smith up. Whitman at the front, a fumble. Hawthorn have fumbled too much. Essendon don't need a second chance. Izard away to there's Manning near the centre of the ground, and the mark is taken by McGuinness.
Oh.
Well, the hand pass was behind Jenke. He's bowled over by Van der Haar. He'll get a free kick, Ray Jenke. Well, Van der Haar had the momentum up. Not sure he did much wrong then.
Shocking hand pass by Scott McGuinness to set up Jenke. They actually handballed it behind him. Jenke to the half-forward line. Dunstall at the back. Up the ground, the ball goes. Paul Deere trying hard. Derek Kickett goes backwards to create the loose man to Manning, and then on to Grenvold. Grenvold finds Greg Anderson's having a field day. Oh, here's a loose man out wide. This is Adrian Burns. Burns will go over the top. Manning brought down by McGuinness. That was good, better play. Here's Jenke tapping it on, but straight to Long. Danger. Brought down the ground. Barnes to Van der Haar. Van der Haar to Manning. Manning back to Michael Long. Long. Oh, he went for the banana kick. He's just missed it, I feel, and put it through for behind it. Geez, a dangerous player.
Just a brilliant game by Michael Long. 2 marks, 17 possessions. Hardly wasted a thing. Lawrence in trouble from Madden. Lawrence has to go back after it. Hasn't cleared the area yet. Barnes crashes in. Support by Madden. And the umpire's going to ball this up. 83 plays 41. And earlier in the season, when the match was switched to the MCG, the Bombers won by 62 points. Great ruck work by Madden down to Buick. Buick may have been held. The crowd called for it. Langford out of defence. Barnes can't take the mark. It's come inside 50 to Greg Anderson. Buick skirts around them. Short pass to Kickett. Right in front. Derek Kickett with a week to line it up. And goals. His third, second this quarter. 13-11 to 6-5.
Again, the beautiful teamwork of Essendon. They've got pace, they've got skill, they've got talent, and they've just got it all over the place. They've got a tight defence, and you wouldn't even think Anthony Danaher was missing the way they're playing this game. 13-11 to 6-5, beautiful ball skills. Lawrence to Andrew Collins, grabbed by Pritchard to the half-forward line. Dermot Brereton out of that side. It's like just a gaping hole there at half-forward. Easily Essendon do it. O'Donnell to Grenvold to the centre of the ground. Lawrence in front is pushed in the back. And that'll be a free kick going to Lawrence. And that's a 50-metre penalty for another ball should have been handed back to Lawrence, not to his teammate Watson. And this will bring him up to the 50-metre line. And to say goals are badly needed is the understatement of the century. Stephen Lawrence, a best on ground performance last week against Geelong, but look today, 3 kicks and 2 handballs, not enough. And he's got a few mates. Right on the 50-metre line, there's the kick right up in the goal square, and a great mark. Geez, playing well, Terry Danaher.
11 marks and 19, now 20 possessions.
Oh, he's played a great game.
And we're 3.5 minutes short of three-quarter time. Barnes, poor kick, didn't get out of the 50. Greg Anderson, brilliant on his wing. To half-forward, Van der Haar starred this quarter. Here comes Kickett. With him is Schwab. Kickett keeps it going. Great play by Kickett. Off the ground he goes. It spins and goes through for his third for the term. Well, what sort of a recruit has he been? His 4th club in 4 seasons. Played in South Australia, 1 year at North Melbourne. Came in the draft to Essendon. What a pickup.
Well, I saw him play years ago in Western Australia, Drew, and I thought he's a dead set champion. I couldn't believe that he couldn't get a game with North Melbourne. They cleared him. He was always on and off the ground. And look what he's doing for the Bombers. 14-11, plays 6-5. Very, very impressive display this by Essendon. Here they come again. Grenville to Van der Haar. The loose ball to Burns. He's got Watson with backup support, but he runs around and kicks it in short. Buick. And this is a one-horse race at the moment. The Bombers far too good. They've got superior pace, superior skill. And it's going to take a very good side to beat Essendon this year.
7 goals to 1 this quarter.
Darren Buick going for his first. The red-headed speedster from directly in front. There's another one to Essendon, and this is a procession. The Bombers move on to 15-11. Hawthorn 6-5.
Pete, prior to that one, the 7 goals for the Bombers have been kicked by 2 players. Van der Haar 4, Kickett 3. That's 8 goals to 1 this quarter now.
Gee, they've been impressive, and well, they've got everything. Essendon, they've got height, and they've got Paul Salmon to come back in. We must remember Mark Harvey's off the ground. Not a bad player to be missing, Anthony Danaher. And well, their backline's tight and tough, and they've got rovers and great skill all over the ground.
A 10-goal lead to the Bombers. They're going to win by more than they won in the first round. And it's their first win at Princes Park for a long time, at least 5 years. Greg Anderson, Burns. Hoist that high and across the ground. Tough for Watson. Oh, good mark. Brilliant by Tim Watson. O'Donnell up from defence. Beats Ralph Smith easily. Steers it towards the goal square. Madden the only chance. Lawrence is back there. Oh, Buick comes in to spoil. And eventually Langford has to rush it through for a behind.
Well, lucky they've had Chris Langford. I think they'd be about 20 goals behind if he was having a bad day. He really has played well, Langford, under enormous pressure to the half-back line. An easy mark as Greg Deere claims he was pushed. Ed Considine this is. Long kick. Madden. Oh, almost took the mark. Here's Van der Haar. Paul Van der Haar. Hooking it back. Oh, don't tell me the Flying Dutchman has kicked it. He has.
After that performance for Hawthorn, it was like the bad old days of the 50s.
You'd have to go back to the early 80s. Cransburg loves kicking goals like this. This is one around the body at Princes Park yesterday.
Right through the middle.
Now watch this incident with Mark Harvey and Chris Langford, 2 players keeping their eye on the ball. Harvey concussed. They didn't take their eye off the ball. Langford and Harvey Harvey going down concussed, and let's hope he's only out for one match because he's had too many injuries. Kickett and Van der Haar went berserk in the third quarter. I think Van der Haar kicked 5 in the third term and Kickett 3 as Essendon took charge.
And Van der gets it.
Yes, as Drew Morford says, Van der gets it. And watch Kickett here. He would have done well in Italia 90. There weren't too many goals off the ground there. Here's Kickett.
With him is Schwab. Kickett keeps it going. Great play by Kickett. Off the ground he goes. It spins.
And it'll roll through.
And goes through for his third for the term.
Let's go to the M's today.
Twice I've seen them this year against Hawthorn, and they've done something that no other side's able to do, is really ride Hawthorn into the ground. They've done it twice, and they've done it well, and they've got class all over the ground. There's Kickett, and he was terrific. Kicked 4 goals from the centre of the ground, 3 1/4. Van der Haar is running around like a 2-year-old. He started off at centre half forward. He kicked 5 goals in the third quarter, and you wouldn't believe it, ended up on the back line taking marks in that last quarter. Gary Ayres was injured early, had a thigh injury, had to stay on the ground because Hawthorn lost Platten in the first quarter with a hamstring, and also James Morrissey, so they only had 17 fit men.
Peter, looking at the Hawthorn side on paper, it looks a good side. Is it a confidence thing with Hawthorn? Are they in the habit now of losing?
Look, I don't care how good a side is. Brereton out, Tony Hall, Di Domenico, Buckenara, Abbott, Curran. How'd you like all those play? But they were beaten all the same by a very, very good side. Essendon have got class all over the ground. Terry Danaher's still playing well, and they've got good rovers and a great defence.
What about Brereton not playing yesterday?
Well, that's like a general missing. Paul Deere definitely plays well, much better when Brereton's in the side because they're all concentrating on him. Paul Deere gets a lesser-known player, and he comes into it. And Terry Danaher won well yesterday at centre half back. But
was Tony miss much yesterday at fullback?
Well, you wouldn't have known Tony Danaher was missing. Paul Hamilton went to full back. Dunstall kicked 4 goals from 4 kicks, but he's not quite the same player. But then again, it wasn't a couple of votes. I could have gone. I thought Hawthorn only had one good player, that was Langford at full back, and I could have put 8 Essendon players in the vote. So I eventually went for Danaher at centre back, took 13 marks. Tim Watson, the catalyst, he set them up in the first half. And this man is in sensational form. He must have had 31, 32 kicks and having a great season. Greg Anderson.